Hey guys, Jacob here. This is another 1.8.3 build video for the Division. This is going to be going over my new Sentry Call PVE build. I'll get right into it and show you guys why I'm using this and how I'm running it. As you guys can see, I'm using the full 6-piece Sentry. This isn't a hybrid, this is the full classified set. First, I'm going to go over the bonuses so you guys know what they are. Set bonus 2 is 30% accuracy, set bonus 3 is 10% headshot damage, and set bonus 4, which is the original Sentry Call talent or bonus from back in the day when there was only 4-year set bonuses. Headshots using semi-automatic weapons mark the enemy, increasing the damage inflicted on the target by 5% for a duration of 30 seconds. Each mark, basically, you can receive up to 3 marks on a NPC if you shoot them. So it goes 1, 2, 3, so that's 5% for a duration of 30 seconds. Set bonus 5 is 15% accuracy, 15% headshot damage, and set bonus 6, which is the new classified bonus that was added a while back. NPC targets can now receive up to 6 marks. After 1 mark, every headshot on the target has a 50% chance to spread a single mark to an additional target within 25 meters. At 6 marks, your headshot damage on the target is increased by 100%. So this is a pretty decent PvE build. I think this works really well if you have a team using Striker and Reclaimer. That's what I've been using with a few of my buddies a while back. I did use this a while back solo in Lexington, and it was pretty fun. I ran around with this. I haven't used this build that much, but it's a pretty fun build to use if you guys have not used it yet. Now I'll get into the weapons. The first one I'm using is the primary, which is the Urban MDR, destructive for the armor. So if you don't have destructive, try getting something else, like maybe deadly if you can't get it, or maybe get responsive if you don't have it instead of prepared. So if you have like destructive and deadly, you could just roll deadly and put responsive or prepared. That works, but I'm using prepared since this is a little bit more distance build when you're fighting NPCs. I guess you could use something like ferocious on this, I guess, but you're going to need the requirements to use that, so I'm not going to really use it, so I'm using prepared instead. Prepared is damage increased by 15% when more than 30 meters from a target. Distracted, your damage is increased by 18% against targets with a status effect. So if you're using something like a flame turret, this works really well. That way you can burn the shit out of them and get distracted procced and get the 18% against targets with a status effect. Now the mods I'm using on this weapon is a 5.52 hollow sight with crit chance, optimal range, and crit damage. Heavy mag spring with rate of fire, so you can shoot this gun a little bit faster, crit damage, and crit chance. Small grip with crit damage, stability, and optimal range. Loud vent break with crit damage, crit chance, and headshot damage. You could use a suppressor if you would have reduced threat, but me, I don't really care, so I'm just going to use a loud vent break instead. Now the secondary I'm using, which is a deadly and responsive card counter house, 18.3 base damage. You could use deadly and destructive, which I plan on using, but I currently don't have that on me. So if you have deadly and destructive, use that instead. But this gun is, set is mostly based around the Urban MDR, so that's why I haven't really messed with the SMG yet. Pro sight with crit damage, crit chance, and headshot damage. Extend mag with crit chance, rate of fire, magazine size. Small grip with crit damage, stability, and optimal range. Loud vent break with crit damage, crit chance, and headshot damage. And the digital NWU camo. Now the sidearm I'm using, which is what I usually use, is the cool-headed determined pistol to get your ults back and your signature skill. Pretty much the same thing, or get your skills and your ult back, my bad. If you want to have health, use something like this, which is Predator, Sustained, and Deadly. And you could use Self-Preserved and get rid of Deadly and have a healer or sawed-off shotgun, I guess, if you're going to be killing NPCs when they're almost dead, or if they're red bars. Now I'll get into the gear. The Sentry Call chest piece is rolled for 14,000 health, firearms, health on kill, and increased kill XP. This harness is not, or this vest is not rolled that much at all. I just got this piece a while back, and I've finally decided to make a build on it. That's why I did not make this build sooner, because I could not get the Sentry Call chest piece at all. Now, the mods I'm using are Stamina, Damage to Elites. If you can get 4%, use 4%, but I'm currently using a 4 and a 3 on this vest. Now, the mask is rolled for enemy armor damage, firearms, and damage to elites. The damage to elites is very important since this is a PvE build, and the enemy armor damage is important as well. The mod is a 4% damage to elites mod, which is purple. Now the enemy armor damage rolled on this, electronics, damage to elites, disrupt, resist, and disrupt. Like I said, damage to elites and enemy armor damage are very important. The mod on this is a damage to elite mod and a 5% first aid self-heal. Now the backpack is rolled with electronics, crit damage, and ammo capacity. If I could get health, I would, but as you can see, I can't because they're already rolled, and I wasn't paying attention to this a while back when I rolled it. So, whoops. But it still works really well. But if you want to have a little bit more toughness, I'd recommend rolling health on this. The mod is a 4% damage to elites mod, and the 2 first aid self-heal mods. The gloves are rolled for assault rifle, crit chance, crit damage, and firearms. What you really want is assault rifle, enemy armor damage, and crit damage, but I wasn't that lucky. This is the only gloves I have, so I'm going to work with what I have. Now, the holster is rolled for skill haste and all stats. The mod on this is a first aid self-heal. Now I'll go over the abilities I'm using. I'm using the support stage to revive myself if I'm down, and the overdose to give me 161,000 HP heal, which is pretty decent. When you're with your friends as well, the ally heal isn't the greatest, but it still will give them a average heal, I guess, if they're almost dead, so that way you can heal your teammates. But if you want to make this more team-based, I recommend using something like the defib, and that way you can revive your teammates, or just use the immune station. One thing I have thought that's been pretty decent with this build is the Dragon Breath turret. That way you can burn NPCs and get distracted proc on the Urban MDR. The talents I'm using on this build is Critical Save, Combat Medic, Strike Back, and Steady Hands. You guys pretty much know what these are. If you don't, I will explain them. Critical Save, use a medkit during low health to increase damage resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. Combat Medic, use a medkit near an ally to heal a group member in proxies of 20 meters. So if you're near a teammate, you can heal someone just by popping a normal medkit. Strike Back, reach low health to reduce active skill cooldowns by 20%. So you're almost dead, you can hit your box or hit the overdose. Steady Hands, enter cover and reduce recoil by 25% for 10 seconds. So if you're shooting someone at a distance and you go into cover, you can actually hit them a few times with this. This works for PvP also. Now I'll go to the character sheet and show you guys the stats on the Urban MDR. These stats are 90% crit damage, or 90% crit chance, 92% crit damage, 126% headshot damage, and 45% accuracy. The range is 100 feet. And the health on kill is 5%, damage to elites is 44%, enemy armor damage is 45%. These are pretty important since this is a PvE build. The threat is 41% since you're not using a suppressor. The skill power is 160,000 for your heal, and 6% skill haste to reduce the time of the heal. Toughness 346,000, which is kind of low. Pretty low health, which is 240,000. This is a PvE build, and you have a great decent heal to heal yourself, and you have 12,000 regeneration. That's going to be about it for the build, guys. I know this is a little bit quick compared to some of the builds that I make. I did do this earlier, but for some reason the recording did not work all the way, so forgive me for that. So that's why this is a little bit quicker than usual. But as always, thank you guys all for watching. I'll catch you